beautiful, sexy, amazing video of the equally lovely, equally beautiful, equally sexy, and equally amazing lit. I already know what time it is. Now let's go. Now guys, in today's video, we're going to be answering the question, what happened to the UK rapper 23 Unofficial? And we're going to break this down in way more detail, but already know what you got to do. You just got to like, comment, subscribe. But today I'm dropping a banger like this one. And hit that note, because you're in the niche. You can be the first to know when one of these videos comes out. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, if you don't know who 23 Unofficial is, I will give you a brief summary. 23 Unofficial is a rapper from Hackney in East London. He released a slew of different singles on his come up like Torn and Naughty, but he really rose to prominence in 2017 with the release of his hit debut single, Ain't Bothered.
You see them man over there, I ain't bothered. Yeah, tell them I ain't bothered.
Literally back then, that summer, every time I go on social media, someone was making a video saying,
Plug, extension cord, bottoms all red like I stepped in sauce.
Someone even made a video of stepping in ketchup to that song. It was all mad. The song currently sits at 8 million streams on YouTube and 26 million streams on Spotify, so it was a very successful hit for the rapper. He then followed this up with his second collab single with M. Huncho called Recognition. Again, another popular song at almost 9 million streams, but it was his next single that really propelled him as a staple in the scene with the song Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Never tell me nothing.
This song currently sits at 19 million views on YouTube and 10 mil streams on Spotify. So again, another huge success for him and really propelled him to stardom essentially. And one thing I do want to point out is that 23, he always had this little jiggy bop to him that he did in every video. I don't know what that jiggy bop is. It's like when you're trying to pretend you're a chicken and you're moving, you know what I mean?
100,000 for the cheapest ring on the neck finger, little bitch.
He really is the epitome of a roadman getting told to dance in a rave, and it's always that kind of dance, you know what I mean? Either way, I must say that all of these songs were straight bangers, and at this point, 23 has gone 3 for 3, and it's looking like he's a certified hit maker. These tracks, particularly the first and the third, were really some of the highlight standout tracks from the Afro Swing era. Now, at this moment in time, it seems that he's taken full advantage of the Afro Swing lane, dropping tunes like Mamacita and Day in the Life, and even jumping on the remix to another Afro Swing banger, Jumanji.
Jumanji, if your body need fixing, I'm the man be.
And I won't lie, his verse on there was so trash. It's honestly ridiculous. No, this is my favorite part of his verse. Take a look.
Foolish, like a shanty.
What? What are you talking about?
That's such a basic line. How did we let UK rappers get away with such basic lines? I'm not gonna lie, 23 had a lot of basic lines. I think one of his staple lines was, I grind so hard you would have thought that this guy was a skater.
You're taking the piss. Please leave.
They're making lines like that on the primary school lunch table. Like, what are we really doing? But either way, at this point, his name is getting mentioned amongst the likes of Notes, Young Bane, Mostat. I mean, I know they all fell off now, so that sentence doesn't hit as hard as it would have a couple years ago, but at that time, those names were sort of UK heavyweights in the music scene. But then that begs the question, what happened? Because if we fast forward to modern times, 23 is probably, I don't know, 33 right now, and he's nowhere to be seen in the UK music scene. I don't even think Houdini himself could have pulled off a better disappearance act than 23 has done. In fact, the last time that I did hear of him, he was getting exposed in a Twitter space by Az, I believe his name is, about how many people were at one of his shows. And I'm not gonna lie, Az was roasting him. I thought it was a bit funny. So how do we get from this to this? Well, we're about to find out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had to do an extensive amount of research to find out what happened here. And after sifting through multiple 23 interviews, it honestly seems like 23's fall off was due to a self-proclaimed, but particularly in the interview that he did with UK Gossip TV, 23 seems to have suggested that he took some time out of music to focus on himself. I guess he took a little break after, you know, started to see some success. And apparently during this time, his friends were saying to him that, like, you come on, you need to go studio. What are you doing? You need to make another hit. You need to keep up the momentum that you've built. And he was just basically saying to them, nah, I'm good. I need this time to reset. He more so alluded to the fact that the whole music industry industry was taking an effect on his mental health. Obviously, prior to Ain't Bothered coming out, the only people that would hear the music was his friends or a couple people in his area and things of that nature. But now that it's actually become his career, he was experiencing a lot of things that he wasn't used to. You know, he wasn't used to being famous. He wasn't used to people asking him for pictures. He wasn't used to receiving six-figure paychecks. Don't worry, 23. If you're not used to them, just give them to me, man. If you ain't used to those six-figure paychecks, I'll take them off your hands, man. If it's affecting your mental that much, I will take those six-figure paychecks off your hands. But yeah, he was essentially saying he needed time to relax and reset and rewind. And he said he'd rather have done that now than 6 to 7 years into his career, where taking a break like that could have had an even more detrimental effect on, I guess, the fact that he would have had a bigger team. He would have had more people relying on him to make music and things of that nature. But 23, I must say that was a very poor choice on your part, and I'll explain in further detail later in this video. So yeah, it looks like he pretty much took 2019 as his year to reflect and be to himself, as he only dropped about 3 songs that year, and none of them even crossed 500,000 views. In fact, one of them didn't even make it to 100k views. Absolutely abysmal in comparison to the views that we were discussing earlier. And then by the time we reach 2020 and 23 has come back and he's ready to dip his toe into the UK music scene, and he's doing interviews, he's talking about making more music, he's essentially been priced out of the market, for a loss of better term. In that year, in the time that he took off, drill basically became the dominating genre in the UK rap scene, and the place for songs like Ain't Bothered and Can't Tell Me, the monopoly that those type of Afro swing songs were having in the scene, in the charts, it was decreasing at a commensurate rate. It's kind of like if you're at your boy's house and everyone's playing FIFA and it's winner stays on, and then you fall asleep for about 2 hours and you come back, everyone's playing Mortal Kombat now. It's a whole different game has been set up.
Yeah, that's true. Now let's go back to my nigga on the floor.
Then from 2021 to 2023 onwards, he's continued to drop a slew of singles. However, number one, a lot of these are complete garbage, just being very honest. And again, most of these just about or even fail to crack 500,000 views, which is good in a sense because it shows that he's still got a fairly decent amount of people checking for his music. But I just don't think he's cultivated a large enough fan base to survive in this new UK drill era that we currently find ourselves in, especially considering the fact that he isn't adapting. He's still sticking to making these Afro swing kind of tunes, and unfortunately that era is pretty much over and done with. And yeah, I think it was a very stupid decision on his part to take that break when he was just on the cusp of reaching success. That's the time where you need to go harder than ever. Pause. That's the time where you definitely don't take your foot off the gas, because let's be real, he only had 2 hits. Like, you don't get 2 hits and they weren't crazy hits, they were just hits. That's not the time for you to take your foot off the gas and say you need a break. No. It would have been way better to take your foot off the gas 6-7 years into the game, because yeah, you might have more people relying on you and whatnot, but you would have also had 6 to 7 years worth of music to back up and help those people who are relying on you whilst you took a break for your mental health. So obviously I don't know how strong the mental health thing was, so I can't really comment on it in that aspect, but I just think he dropped the ball, and he really dropped the ball at the worst possible time, because the Afro swing era was very, very short. But yeah, 23, but yeah, as I mean, if you go on his Instagram, he's pretty much deleted everything off of it. He's still making music, but again, I think no one cares, to be honest. I just gotta be really honest. I think people have moved on from 23 Unofficial. They've moved past it. He's more of a nostalgia act where people would maybe go and see him in concert just to remember the feeling of the 2017 to 2018 era, but I don't think any people are really checking for new music from him today. And again, it's sad, but it's just, it is what it is. You don't take your foot off the gas when you're on the come up. You do not take your foot off the gas. And again, I don't like to say that because I don't know how serious the mental health thing was that he's going through, so I'd never want to undermine that. But obviously if it is a serious thing, then yeah, you take your foot off the gas regardless. But the repercussions of taking your foot off the gas are that when you come back, a whole different genre of music might be popping. I don't know. I just personally wouldn't go on a break after I've only had 2 hits. But either way, I mean, acts like 23 Unofficial, you're always 1 hit away, but it's just not happening. We've just moved on, man. We're past that stage, man. As much as people say bring back that era, it ain't coming back, man. Those days are done. But in the words of Heady One,
it's a bit of a sticky one still.
But let me think about this in the comment section down below. What do you think about 23 Unofficial? Do you think he could make a comeback? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. But on the road to 2,000 subs, you know what time it is. You follow my personal IG at the only lit time. If you care about what I do, I'm not making these bangers for you. I post updates on Twitter as well, so you might as well follow me on there, because what else are you doing with your life? Absolutely nothing, mate. I bet. Peace.